In this session, we can discuss about software development lifecycle. In short, it is known as SDLC. The software development lifecycle refers to a process utilized by the software development industry for designing, developing and testing software solutions. So the main objective of a software process is to develop high quality software products that will meet the requirements of the user within a stipulated time. So always a software process aims at developing high quality products. SDLC is also known as software development process. So it can be considered as a framework that defines software development tasks that are formed at every phase of the development process. So a software process can be considered as a sequence of activities which may include different actions, and these actions are being attained using some task set. So here we have different phases in software development lifecycle, and the software development lifecycle is a framework that defines what are the tasks to be carried out in every phase of the development process. So normally a software process may consist of different phases like planning and requirement analysis, defining requirements, designing a software product architecture, developing the software solution, testing the project, and finally deploying or maintaining the software in the market. So every software development may follow through all these phases, and each of these phases will be producing some outcome, and this outcome of one phase will be serving as the input to the next phase. So this is what is happening in software development lifecycle. And based on this software development lifecycle, we have defined several process models. They are known as software process models or SDLC models. So what is a process model? A process model can be also called as process paradigms. It is a simplified representation of a software process. So we can say that a process model is a simplified representation of a software process. So this will provide an abstraction for the entire software product. Each process model represents a process from a particular perspective and thus provides only partial information about the process. So the detailed information about a process is not mentioned in this. It will be providing only an abstract view from some perspective. For example, a process activity model shows the activities and their sequence, but they may not show the roles of the people involved in these activities. So here, if a process is having different activities, then the activity, how these activities are related will be mentioned in the process model, but the actual process that is being taking place or who all are the people involved in this particular process will not be described in detail. So that is why it is known as a abstract of the process. So they are abstractions of the process that can be used to explain different approaches to software development. Now let us see what are the different types of software process models. So already we have seen what is software process. The software processes, frameworks and methodologies are abstractions that can be utilized directly by the organization to perform their day-to-day work. These processes can also be adapted and extended by the flexible frameworks of the organization to generate a custom set of steps in to the requirements of specific software projects or groups. So that means the software processes are directly used by every software development organization to perform their day-to-day work. they may include different activities and actions to be carried out at every phase of the development. And these processes can be adapted and extended by the flexible framework of the organization. That means it is not a very stringent way of developing a software. Every organization is not following the same methods to develop their own softwares. They can make their own modifications or adaptations to the process models and design their own process models that can be applied in their organization according to the requirements of the specific software projects. So there are various SDLC models that are designed for different objectives. So according to the objective of the project, various SDLC models can be applied. Sometimes some organizations may be using any of these specifically defined SDLC models, or they may be deriving their own SDLC models to develop their software product. So normally we are defining these process models, software process models, into two categories. They are prescriptive process models. Prescriptive process models are also known as traditional process models, and the second type is specialized process models. So what is prescriptive process models? So these process models are called prescriptive because they prescribe a set of process elements like framework activities, software engineering actions, tasks, work products, quality assurance, and change control mechanisms for each project. So all these activities, all these mentioned terms are involved in process. That is, a process means it is a sequence of activities which may include every activity is constituted of different actions, and each action is achieved using different tasks. Along with that, some other parameters are also involved in a software process. They are the work products, that is outcome of the task or action, and there may be some quality or assurance mechanisms involved in this. All these are considered to be the elements of process. And here every process model, prescriptive process models, are prescribing a set of these process elements. That is why the term prescriptive is used here. Also, it defines the flow of a software process. That is, a software process is consisting of different activities, and each of these activities are interrelated together. That means every phase is interrelated. After completing one phase, the next phase begins, or in some way they are related. So in order to show the relationship between these activities, a process flow or workflow is defined. So process model also prescribes this process flow. That is why it is known as prescriptive process model. So there are different models belonging to the prescriptive process models. They are the main ones are waterfall model, incremental process model, spiral model, and evolutionary process model. All these process models will be discussed in the coming sessions in detail. So now let us see what is specialized process models. Specialized process models are models that take on many of the characteristics of one or more of the traditional models. So we have seen different traditional models in the previous slide, like waterfall model, spiral model, incremental model, or evolutionary models. So these models are having their own specific characteristics, and some of these characteristics are combined together to develop a specialized process model. So specialized process models are applied when a specialized or narrowly defined software engineering approach is chosen. That is, if the aim of this software process is very specific, then specialized process models can be used. And these specialized process models are defined out of traditional or prescriptive process models itself. And the different types of specialized process models are component based development, and another one is formal methods model. So every method in traditional and specialized process models are to be considered in detail, and we will do this in the coming sessions. Thank you.